What's up guys, Adrian here again, and this is another Brute Shoot. Today we're talking about cold showers. What's the benefit of these things? There are several. Let me educate you a little bit. So a little short story to go along with the cold shower thing. Clearly I trained with Tommy Hackenbrook for several years, right? The root of what brute strength is, we kind of all originated together. We were training as a team. Michael, Tommy and myself spent a lot of time together. Going back several years, there was this time, I don't even remember which season it was specifically, but Tommy was like, hey man, you need to make sure you're taking cold showers. And I was like, oh, cold showers? We're talking about cold showers? Why would I take a cold shower? He was like, I don't know, it's gonna make you tough. Like if you don't wanna do it, it's probably something you should do. Point one is if you wanna be successful at things, you're gonna learn how to love to do hard things, right? So sometimes making difficult, or hard decisions day after day, like stepping into cold water to start your day, are gonna give you the resiliency mentally in order to do other hard things throughout the day and care about them less, or allow them to emotionally lead you to responses less, right? You'll be more even keeled, and there's even some science behind that. But specifically, that's kind of where I was introduced to cold showers. It was simply a suggestion from a friend. So I started doing this. And an easy, quick, applicable for you guys interested at all before we even dive into the benefits is that you might not want to put the shower on as cold as possible and then just jump in. It's going to lead you like squealing like a little girl or like not lasting very long. So here's what I suggest. Get in the shower, do your thing, wash up, day-to-day tasks, clearly check them off. Please continue to do what you got to do. Then progressively make the water colder and colder and colder to the point where it's as cold as you can stand it, and then stand in there for several minutes. I would say a minimum of about 3 minutes is your goal. With this cold rinse or cold shower taking place, it's gonna give birth to a ton of things. One, again, you're making a difficult decision, and it's not gonna be the most comfortable thing. You're gonna build some mental and physical resiliency. The next thing is that it actually will improve your circulation. So when you get a cold shower, think about what's taking place, right? Your skin tightens, your blood vessels actually constrict, right? So as your blood vessels constrict, it's almost like we're working through repetitions of a contraction and a relaxation, because when you get out of the shower, what happens to those blood vessels? They then expand again, right? So we're gonna improve blood circulation throughout our entire body because of this cold rinse. So think about all the other health benefits that are gonna be coinciding with improved blood flow, a ton. Specifically, there's one that I can think of for men at nighttime that would go really well for most of you guys anyways. The next one's gonna be, it helps close your pores, right? So in the skin constriction, right, with the exposure to the cold water, we've got this thing that takes place where it closes our pores. So if you guys are consistently experiencing like ashy or dry skin, or even like your hair is very dry, and this can go for the ladies as well, not just for the men, but it's gonna help your hair and nails be healthier, and also your skin. So you will need to add less moisturizer after you get out of the shower. You will need to think about lotioning your hands less throughout the day. Like your skin will just naturally be in a healthier position due to the natural oils that will be produced because of the cold water, right, and exposure to that and the lack of heat. The next thing is, specifically to the men, it's gonna improve fertility, right? In a couple ways, and without diving into a bunch of science or studies that have been associated with it, it's really simple, that the colder that your manhood remains, right, the same with your internal body temperature, the more successful and the more productive you will be when it comes to sperm count. It's really simple. We all know that our body regulates the temperature down there in the testes specifically. If we're really hot, they need to drop further away from our body core temperature. If we're really cold, they can come up closer, but they're outside of our body for a reason, right? So when it comes to just general understanding, if we expose ourselves several times throughout the week to cold temperatures, it will benefit us. We know, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably heard, that exposure to like hot showers and hot sauna type experiences several times a week, that is actually a lessening effect when it comes to production of sperm count and the things that guys got to take into consideration when they're trying to expand upon their family. The next thing is that it helps with immunity, right? So there's a study back in '93, I can't exactly tell you the name of it or the source, but I know that, and I remember that it was in 1993, they concluded that it increases the viral fighting white blood cells that take place in our body. So think about this, as we get colder, we have to increase our internal metabolic rate in order to heat ourselves up, right? Because the body still is always gonna fight for homeostasis. So if there's cold weather, cold water on our body on the outside, inside we're gonna get warmer. So with that said, the increase of our metabolic rate from an internal perspective actually helped the increase of production of the viral or antiviral white blood cells that were taking place. So that's clearly gonna be something that we want to continue to chase, especially through the winter months where a cold shower is a little less attractive and we're diving in cold water a little less often. So going through that's going to help you guys fight off the flu season. Clearly it helps with recovery, right? And I don't know if this is something that a lot of training athletes want to expose themselves to regularly or a couple times a day. We know the benefits of cold plunges and or cold baths, but a simple cold rinse is going to allow you to have less exposure to the severity of an ice bath. But it'll also still give you the benefits of that cold water treatment. What I mean by that is, again, the blood vessel constriction and expansion that takes place entering and exiting the shower will allow you to think about flushing a lot of the waste that our muscles produce during a training session to allow us to feel better. It's gonna act as anti-inflammation and also speed in the recovery when we talk about like nutrient delivery and or cycling through a lot of that waste that we create in a day-to-day training environment. And then also, I mean, and this kind of goes without saying, it's gonna help boost testosterone, right? So thinking about what it does for our hair, and if you're chasing a little bit more of a manly mane when it comes to chest hair, this is a great thing to do. It has a great influence on our testosterone production in general, and it roots all the way back to the third point that I made on fertility, right? So literally the effect that it has on our testes and our regulated body temperature, it's gonna also positively influence an increase in testosterone, which for most out there in general, male, female, like when it comes to thinking about pursuing being anabolic as long as we can and as many times as we can throughout the day to be in a building and a less catabolic state, this is a plus. And lastly, it's gonna help you be more cool, calm, demeanor throughout the day, right? If you think about what happens when you expose yourself to cold temperatures, there's almost like this panic thing. And I'm speaking from experience. I'll be letting the water run over me and like immediately I'm like, okay, this was a bad decision. This is uncomfortable. I'll start breathing hard. I'm trying to calm myself, trying to slow my heart rate, right? And again, sometimes life throws itself at me throughout the day where often my natural resolve or my natural reaction to things is like this. It's panicked. It's a sped up heart rate. But because I've already had this experience a lot of times early in the day where I've done this cold rinse, it allows me to continue to like think, okay, take a deep breath. I got this. I've already done one hard thing to start my day. Now what's it look like as I go on throughout the day, making hard decisions, having patience with people that I have to interact with on a day-to-day, you name it, but it's gonna help you. So my point is, cold showers is something that a lot of us don't often consider and or pursue. I know that it's more trending in the direction of being more mainstream. So take a lot of these points and think about how they might apply to your life and see if you can't start today with a cold rinse. Again, think warm water, progressively make it colder, and let's see what you're made of. How long can you last? How cold can it get? Control your breathing and let me know how it goes, right? I'd be anxious to see if you guys can apply this 3 to 4 days a week and try to do it consistently for a month. I think that you'll be hooked and it will be something that you'll want to continue to do throughout the rest of the year.